Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the BSL 17 round of 8. We are actually down to our final semifinals match in the winner bracket. I'm Machine. Joining with me today is my good buddy Dan Nyokin. What's up, Dan?
What's up, Machine? I saw yesterday's games. DeWalt, he just can't take down Bonyth, the GOAT of BSL. Bonyth already making it through, but now we've got another GOAT. It's Mihu facing off versus cRoSs. It's Terran versus Zerg. There's only been one game in every BSL that Zerg looked really strong versus Mihu, and that was Sziky on Vermeer last season. Other than that, Mihu just looks untouchable in TVZ. I think this is going to be so hard for us.
Yeah, as you did mention, though, I mean, Mihu did drop a series, and it was to Zerg. Sziky, you know, it's not quite a fair comparison because I believe Sziky and cRoSs kind of play a little differently, right? But if Mihu has a weakness, you know, it might be this matchup in particular. That being said, man, you see the champ next to his name quite a few times there. He is clearly been a force to be reckoned with time and time again, season after season in this BSL, so cRoSs has his work cut out for him.
It's going to be really hard for cRoSs. You can see if in his profile stats, surprisingly, his highest win rate is versus Terran. For a lot of Zergs, that's usually their worst win rate. Whereas Mihu, I mean, technically his worst matchup is Terran versus Zerg, but if you're winning 75% of the games, does that really matter?
Yeah, you know what? I take those stats.
Yeah.
For Zerg, for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, he's a monster, man. He's going to be a big problem for cRoSs in this coming series. It is a best-of-5 series, of course, now that we're getting down to the wire here in the final events. So cRoSs will need to take 3 whole games off of Mihu somehow to move on in the winner and make it to the winner bracket finals, where he would face off against Bonyth. But that being said, man, he's got his work cut out for him here. Mihu, you know, I feel like he has kind of, you know, modernized his TVZ in a way that you see a lot of the 1-1-1 play, like you see a lot of Valkyrie openers. But I think I recall him, you know, opening up with 8 Raxes occasionally too. Like he's definitely not a one-trick pony in this matchup either. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what we're gonna see out of him today.
Yeah, it would be cool to see something like the Valk opener, not just because I play it every single game, but because it's an interesting build, or something like 1-1-1 or mech. But based on what we've seen so far from Mihu this season, he's kind of going back to his roots. Like in Terran versus Protoss, you know, he was doing the 4-fac, like a super solid build. Now we're seeing something similar in Terran versus Zerg. He's just opening 4 racks every time, and he's saying, well, as long as I don't die in the early game, well, I'm just going to be going into the mid and late game in a great position and just seal the deal there. So I think actually cRoSs, he needs to come up with something special in the early game, because if he doesn't, it's just going to be so hard to beat Mihu in late game.
You're talking like early game speedling timing, like try to break the natural. I mean, opening lurker just feels like suicide against Terran the level of Mihu, you know.
Well, you know, I am a fan of the 12 pool into Lurker, as long as you can keep the SCV out of your base. If it just gets free reign, then I don't like it. But cRoSs is well known for his counterattacks with Ling, so maybe that could be a way for him to get a victory. Our first map is Circuit Breakers, though. This is Circuit Breakers, one of the best Zerg maps on the planet. So let's get into game 1, see who's going to start off with 1-0 lead. Alright, and we're in the chat. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. We're actually got Mihu in the bottom right, in the red.
And spawning at the bottom left of Circuit Breakers as the blue Zerg, we have cRoSs.
Well, we've seen this particular spawn in a lot of matchups so far in BSL. I remember Hawk versus SPX here. I feel like we saw SPX on this map again versus some Zerg, and drops were extremely strong. Like, the drops literally saved SPX in that SPX versus Hawk game. So cRoSs is going to need to keep his eyes peeled for drops, because we know Mihu can definitely, you know, go for something like a quad drop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just, given these positions, no reason where Zerg would ever end up taking that 6 o'clock location. That means your main is completely exposed to drop play. But even outside of the main, there's plenty of neutral ground above these natural cliffs, you know, and to basically maneuver and evade any Scourge or Muta, and you know, get a nice drop off that does some serious damage here. We are just going with a 12 hatch, pretty typical here for cRoSs. I actually think the base positions are pretty good for cRoSs, right? Like with top left being so far away from Mihu, it should be a pretty easy to expand location.
Machine, this is 3 hatch before pool. I think this is actually a smart idea. Oh, it's not. Okay, actually, it's just he's pulling a, you know, a TVP style where you gas and racks at the same time, except this time it was a pool and extractor, and the drone does intercept the SCV in the middle of the map. Maybe he was sending it out. If it intercepts the SCV, he does this. If it doesn't, he goes for a 3 hatch before pool. I don't know, but already an interesting opener from cRoSs, but Mihu getting the first scout off means he gets to get away with fast CC off of no Marines.
Yeah, that was a pretty standard, you know, it's not like anything was too different here for cRoSs as far as this pool gas timing. That is a very fast command center. Ooh, nice drone shot there, doing a little bit of damage on that Marine. Yeah, I don't know, looking like a pretty standard Zerg vs Terran to start.
Yeah, everything seems to be very normal. I'm trying to think back into the previous games we saw of Mihu. Didn't we see +1 from him in a couple of his games versus Eon Zerg? But so far, he's already gone for a mix-up. It's going to be a 2 racks.
Huh. I mean, just playing safe, playing standard, right? Might as well get the second barracks, get a, you know, an extra Marine or 2 early on in case cRoSs does go for some type of heavy Ling speed, you know, speed Ling pressure. And tries to take a quick win, so you know, not a bad decision here.
Well, this is going to be the 330 Academy build. Gas came down, Academy came down. You're really looking to move out 8 Marines, 2 medics, 2 Firebats rallied, or 8 Marines, 1 medic, 1 Firebat. It hits extremely quickly, and with cRoSs already going for a low eco 2 hatch build, this can be very punishing.
Yeah, it really can. It's a build that I think every Zerg struggles with, because you're always trying to ride that line of being greedy or not. Ooh, 1 Zergling falling there for cRoSs, kind of a big deal. Because yeah, you know, you want to. It's just logical to retain as many drones as you can. If you get too greedy with it, though, Terran can punish you just by walking across the map with Stim and, you know, 7 Marines and a medic or something like that. So, got to be careful.
Well, hopefully cRoSs doesn't lose this lane also. Okay, he shows speed. If I was Terran here and Zerg poked in with 1 Ling and then speed just kicked in right then, I would actually be thinking that this could be a speed Ling all in. Like, why are you showing me that you have speed? I don't know what cRoSs is actually going to do with this. He's going to take low ground 3rd base. Now, you know, we had this last week, and I like this base much better than taking the main because you can build Sunkens here.
And you get a very easy to expand to 4th, and you know, that's basically the end goal for Zerg in this matchup. You don't really get to play the game until you got that 4th gas up and running, and then Terran better back up, you know?
Well, I think Terran already knows that this is a 3rd base on location because he scanned the natural salt, there's no Sunkens. You're only doing this if you think you can hold with Ling Muta, and that money could have gone into the 3rd hatch somewhere, which he knows out on the map. Now, cRoSs is in big time trouble now. He's lost all his Lings. He can no longer combo in the center of the map with Mutas. He is in dire straits right now.
Yeah, he's struggling for sure. He did at least get 1 sunken colony, so there is potential to hold this timing even paired with Muta. You know, this is crazy because Mihu just completely walking back, just showing how comfortable I guess he is in the game. I don't know. I didn't think he really needed to. He could have likely put a lot of pressure on the 3rd base.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Mihu doesn't go for this attack. He killed all the lings. I mean, what are you afraid of? 4 or 5 mutas? I don't think I would be afraid of 4 or 5 mutas, even if it's Jadon controlling them when I have an opener like this. So cRoSs actually doesn't lose his third base at top left. Mihu does find it, though.
Yeah, Gypsy showing that range still actually being researched, so maybe he's just waiting for range before he moves out.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, Marines are actually just complete garbage without range. Like, there are some games where I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I got +1. I got my stim. I got my range. I move out, and then my entire army dies. I'm like, what happened, man? Like, mutas are good, but they're not that good. And then I watch the replay, and I skipped range.
Yeah, they are not great without range in this matchup. That's for sure. Gypsy showing there is a Hydroden, so likely going to be some type of a lurker follow-up here. What a sneaky Firebat. I have not seen that, actually. You just hide him in the corner and wait for the optimal moment.
Yeah, I also have not seen that. I think it's thrown cRoSs for a loop. He assumed that the Firebat's dead. That bad boy, he's going to show up in the next couple minutes. We actually have not only fast Lurker, it's also fast Queen's Nest. Now, this could be a variety of things. This could be for the intended Defiler, obviously, but it could also be something like Hydra Guardian. He's kept a lot of his Mutalisks alive. He's rushing it really fast.
It's a good Hydra Guardian map.
Yeah.
Plenty of like neutral space over the natural. Like, imagine 5 Guardians, you know, behind this natural here.
Yeah.
Of Mihu could be dangerous. Oh, jumping into the first person. There goes that Firebat. Immediate pull, though, from cRoSs. Yeah. Not taking a single loss.
Well, we do have actually a tank push from Mihu here. I'm a little worried. Okay, there we go. He's starting to build more racks. I was getting worried because if it's Defilers, obviously tanks don't beat Defilers. If it's Guardian Hydra, yes, he'll have like 4 tanks, but he only had 2 racks, so I'm happy that he is ramping up his racks production now. You have to also remember, Mihu has lost, what, his Firebat, and that's it? I don't even know if it's dead. Is that the Firebat at top left?
Yeah, it's not even dead, man. He's chilling at the middle only, waiting for the next base to come online. Yeah. That's so crazy. I mean, that just shows you, like, every single unit, man, like, Mihu's finding value out of them. Most Terrans would have just given up on it, you know, they would have just stopped even paying attention to it, but he still is using that for scouting.
Yeah, it's one of those, if I'm in this game, it's one of those things where I look at the map and I'm thinking, I don't remember sending an SCV up there, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, that Firebat's still alive, man? Alright, go get in there, man. Well, we've actually got lurkers moving across the map, and I think cRoSs is one of the few Zergs that does, like, hold position lurkers, but he doesn't have a lot of them. And unfortunately for him, cRoSs's going for, I mean, Mihu's going for one of the best counters, which is a rushed vessel plus tank push.
Yeah, this is a lot of bio. I mean, he's kind of moving out there a little bit. If he tries to get too greedy with it and move out before a vessel, he can take some serious losses.
Yeah, but this, I gotta tell you, if from Terran's point of view, this seems very blatant. Like, you're moving in with mutas, you're not even firing. This can only be a bait, right? Like, this just smells like bait because of how cRoSs was using his units. However, he's falling for the bait. Oh no!
Oh my gosh! If he didn't kill the Marine at 6 o'clock, he probably would have just walked over there. That's so funny to me.
I was talking about how cRoSs needs to have some type of early game miracle, in my opinion, to win. That was the miracle he was waiting for. However, Mihu somehow avoids losing, avoids catastrophe. Now he's going to actually avoid the lurkers completely, and there's nothing really to stop this army.
I like the route he chose, right? On circuit breakers, there's, you know, typically the Zerg is not going to be defending this nearly as well as they would the entrance towards the center of the map. There are lurkers on that high ground, though. Wow, very nice. Okay, those are some pretty big losses there for Mihu. Nicely done by cRoSs.
Yep, that was good, and this may buy cRoSs the time he needs to for the Defiler. Hopefully it's coming soon. I'm pretty sure it must be in the main, but the fact that he's building Sunkens signals to me that he may have missed his timing.
Could just be buffer, too. I think in a lot of situations you kind of need both. So yeah, this is like 2 walls of Sunkens here. We do see a Defiler has completed, so likely just waiting on that consume. What I don't see is a whole lot of Zerglings. There are a couple lurkers though at the natural. Oh no!
Those lurkers that were on hold. No, they went around in different directions. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, the Defiler is still not done. Mihu just rallying across the map, man. The vessel doesn't even die. Irradiant's gonna be coming down pretty soon. It looks like Darkstorm will just maybe not actually. Those lurkers are so low. He just runs by, snipes that Defiler. Look at that. Those whole position lurkers in the middle of the map, killing a ton of Marines, but the natural's been breached. Now remember, Machine, I was talking about this spawn position. If there are drops while all this is happening, this game will completely be lopsided and Mihu will probably take it.
I feel like we're already starting to get there. I mean, this natural's been completely ransacked. As you said, there is no mining going on here. Meanwhile, like Mihu just powering through his unit production at the moment. We're seeing more tanks, more vessels rallying across. Yep, final, lurkers are trying to rally in here and save this natural and put some kind of counter pressure, but it's just too much Mihu right now.
Yeah, the tanks don't even die. All the Marines, well, not all the Marines, obviously there's more coming across the map, but a lot of the Marines died, but cRoSs has taken critical damage. He's down almost double in supply. He's struggling to get his econ up and rolling. He's now only got 1 Defiler left. The last lurker dies. He may even lose this natural hatchery.
Yeah. I mean, if he loses this natural hatchery, it's got to be game. Zerg needs all the gas they can get to kind of keep up. He's not been able to retain a single Defiler, a single lurker, and we're seeing the vessel count continue to climb. It's just a tough spot to be in if you're cRoSs here.
Yeah, with the natural falling, generally that means that Zerg is just completely out of the game, and I think we may have reached that point of no return. Not only does Mihu have his 3rd base coming, he's got 4th base coming up pretty soon. He's got like 5 racks, double starports, tanks being built. He's got 4 vessels.
Yeah, 4 vessels, 3rd base coming online as well here for Mihu. He's pressuring top left. Oh no, 2 more Defilers going to fall here. cRoSs trying to build some ultra production, just give himself a little bit of buffer, but he's just fighting for his life here.
Yep. Like I said, if there's drops, this game just is a complete blowout. The fact that Darkstorm there's still no counter just yet. cRoSs at least not out of it, right? Like he's got his 4th base coming up. Okay, there's the lack of Darkstorm, and instantly Mihu just jumps on it. The Marines are only at 1-1, but the Ultras are only at +1 armor. Only 2 Ultras in a drone to try and save the day. They both die, and there it is. GG comes out, and Mihu, he stomps game 1.
Yeah, very strong showing from him, as we kind of expected, right? Like, there wasn't too many points in there where I really feared for him, other than maybe the almost walkout across the bridge to the center of the map against the whole position lurkers. From start to finish, he was, he was in this game for sure. He had it, so very well done from him. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe, I'm trying to think of what cRoSs needed to do a little different. He was also fine, right? He didn't take significant losses. It's not like his 3rd took major damage or anything like that. Just Defilers needed to get out 30 seconds earlier, and he would have been all right,
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the timing, like the game timer timing you need for the Defiler, but it seemed like, what was it, 11:30 in this game was slightly too late. I remember in the olden days, the dreaded 3-tank push with a vessel. Everybody knew it was coming, Terran versus Zerg, every single game. You always had to have the 11-minute Defiler, otherwise you're dead. And like you said, it seemed like it was just a little bit too late. But Mihu, he just did exactly what I thought he was going to do. It wasn't a 4 racks this time, it was 2 racks, but the point is he just sat there, he nailed his build, he hit his build, and then he just, not necessarily A moved, right? But it looked like essentially an A move because of how fast the game just ended.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of was. I mean, he took no risks last game either. We were kind of commenting about how odd we thought it was that the original like stim move out timing, he just kind of moved out halfway on the map and then backed up when he likely could have put some serious damage on that third base, or maybe even pressured the natural and got something done. So
Yeah,
he's clearly very confident in his play.
yeah, I do remember him scanning the natural. I guess he didn't scan the main because if he had moved out and it was like a 3-hatch Ling Muta all in and he gets countered when he was going for a build like that with 2 racks, I guess he would have just outright died. So it was a smart move to actually retreat there. We do have cRoSs's map pick, which is going to be Polypoid. So let's get into game 2. Mihu up already 1-0 in the series. Okay, in the bottom right, up 1-0, it's Mihu.
And in the bottom left, the North American Zerg, cRoSs.
Yeah, so watching Mihu's games, like, sometimes it just leaves you, like, wondering to yourself, okay, at least for me, like, what do I do different than Mihu PVZ? Because I like to think that me and cRoSs are somewhat similar level, right? I think cRoSs is a little bit better. And I can tell you what just happened last game where he just attacks once and the game ends. That doesn't happen for me. But I look at what Mihu did and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, okay, you literally just sat there, made one attack and it ended. Why can't I do that?
Just sit there?
Yeah, just sit there.
Just lazy man's Terran, you know? Like, why move out when you just don't? You know,
Yeah.
Zerg will just face roll all their units into you, and you know you just keep kicking them, you know, out of the sky with your Marines. It's great.
Yeah, I've heard another Terran talk about players just sitting there, and you know, actually, I'm a proponent of just sitting there in Terran versus Protoss. Like, literally, just sit there and hit your 2-1 upgrades, Terran versus Protoss, and win the game. I guess maybe that's something I need to work on in TVZ is just let them take a third base. Maybe get a 4th base, but it doesn't matter because they're just going to die to my first attack.
Yeah. You know, there's going to be exceptions to everything, right? You were saying at the beginning of last game, you thought cRoSs was going for 3-hatch before pool, and that might be the one time you can't sit there, you know? But,
yeah,
just sitting there is all right, too. We'll have to see. This is a 12-hatch and then an immediate 12th drone being produced here from cRoSs, so it's not going to be the standard 2-hatch. Maybe it is... I don't know. This could just be a scouting drone again. It's hard to tell.
It's the gas pool.
Yeah, I guess it is. No gas.
Okay, never mind. I'm really wondering what the purpose of this drone is. Like, if you sit here, yes, you deal damage to the SCV. Okay, well, I guess if you can deal this amount of damage, then it's worth. But this is an interesting move. I don't really think I've seen even pros make this move where you send out a drone like this just to try and hope that you get the right interception.
I feel like I've seen Sziky do this, but he's about the only other one.
Well, it is cute because now Terran has no idea what you're doing.
Yeah. Fortunately, you know, it is just going to be kind of a standard-ish 2-hatch Muta, but if this was 3-hatch before a pool, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Like,
I think this type of move... Okay, this is just me talking as a non-Zerg player. I think this type of move is designed for players like Shine. Somebody who can go 3-hatch, he can go 2-hatch all in. You know, he can do a variety of builds. Whereas when I'm playing cRoSs, I'm pretty confident it's 2-hatch every time. I think if cRoSs mixes it up more often, then I think this is an amazing thing. But now the SCV got in and confirmed everything, and it didn't really accomplish much for cRoSs.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, he didn't really need to scout with the drone, being that his first Overlord ended up going the right direction, so, I don't think it was, like, overall the worst decision.
Well, we've got a differing opener from Mihu this time. It's eBay opener, and this is what I was expecting to see, because I think 4 racks is just mega solid, and it's going to allow you to do the same thing as he did last game, which is just sit there. This time he's going to have +1, and he'll have a really strong pushing power with his 4 racks. He can even tech fast with it. Now, this time around, cRoSs does go for a mix-up because it is 3-hatch in the main, and the SCV, again, is going to be denied.
Whenever I think of 4-racks, I think of Rhett. Like, one of the most, like, solid foreign TVZs of all time, and how it was just so painful, because you knew what he was doing each and every single game, but it was so tough to stop.
It's funny you mentioned Rhett, because, by the way, he's playing Broodwar again, and he's playing Terran, because he asked me for some Terran versus Protoss practice. So
no
just
way.
a heads up, Machine, if he asked you to play some TVZ, and you think he's rusty, well, he's lying, because
I know
he
he's
ain't.
lying.
He's been practicing.
He's always
Yeah.
playing, man. He's insane. Second barracks going down here. We do have Academy up as well. Comsat station for Mihu. Yeah, looking pretty standard, right? I like the wall off.
This wall off is interesting for bottom right, especially. You know, it's different if you're playing in like a position, I guess, like bottom left where you can't completely wall, but bottom right with the complete wall, he still doesn't opt for it. Now that scan, did it miss the third hatch creep? If he missed it, that's huge.
I don't think he saw it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't able to quite hit it, so he still might think this is a 2-hatch opener.
Right, well, if he missed the third hatch and he moves out, which I don't know why he would move out based on last game, but if he does, he could get countered and hit really hard. Now, this was not a 4-rack. This was actually 3 racks tech. I see players like Royal do this type of play. Royal loves to mix in a variety of builds, and I have a feeling that this is literally just going to be the same thing, but I think it's going to be even harder for cRoSs to stop this time, because he's spent 300 additional minerals on another hatchery. That's going to impact how fast your hive timing is now.
Yeah, it definitely will a little bit. You can still absolutely get hive timing and Defiler out by 11 minutes with this, though, so he should be all right. I'm kind of hoping he plays a little greedy here, given this position, right? His Overlord sees that bunker at the natural. When you kind of reading your opponent like cRoSs was last game, it's clear that Mihu doesn't want to take any risks, doesn't really feel the need to move out. So maybe build a few extra drones and get your hive a little faster. Once again, we're seeing a third base placed at the natural. This is great for cRoSs, by the way.
This is going to do a ton of damage. Like, not necessarily tons of damage killing workers, but because Mihu rushed his factory, his range is light years away. And that means that cRoSs, if he knew that, he could fight those Marines on that position easily. But I guess Mihu's range just finished, so that's why he ended up being able to move down like that. Look at this. That's a massive transfer.
It's huge, man. It was exactly what we were just talking about, right? Like, I almost think that puts Mihu on a timer. He's gonna need to put some pressure on at some point. He can't let cRoSs get away with such a high drone count.
Oh my gosh, he actually is not going for a tank push. If this was a tank push, I think cRoSs is in trouble, because his hive is still going to be kind of slow. But as we look at his build order, actually it's on time. The only thing that's different this time is his muta count is lower and his ling count is lower. But cRoSs has actually gotten his third base with a 9 drone transfer to top left. So he's actually going into mid game, I think, as ideal of a position as he could be.
He needs some units now, though. That's very clear.
Yeah.
This timing is going to be quite scary if there's no sunkens. You know, muta count is low, as you said. He's definitely, you know, he got away with the drones, but it's time to step on that unit production.
Yeah, he's even in supply. We see the first couple lurkers coming out. This looks really good for cRoSs right now. He just has to make sure that he can do something about the vessel count, because we've seen in basically every Terran versus Zerg in BSL, the vessel count gets ridiculous, whether it's Mihu, SPX, you know, other Terran players, they really ramp it up, and he's got to keep that in check.
He's kept the mutas alive, and high-level ZVT, keeping mutas alive is a big component to being able to clear out vessel counts, right? Now he just needs a group of 4 Scourge paired with these muta. He could dive bomb and take out the first 2 vessels, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, Mihu also, I don't think, found the third base natural at top left, so he keeps scanning, doesn't see anything, just sees the natural. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Where is the third base? Does he consider going drops, or what is it? He's actually still ramping up vessel count right now.
Yeah, I don't think he should. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Big damage there to cRoSs. Another huge drone transfer to that third base though. Oh yikes! Overlord falling as well. This is that window, man. This is where it's going to be very tough for cRoSs to hold. He has to get these defilers out. He has to get consumed. Okay, we're seeing quite a few lurkers stack. Nidus is up, parrying natural to third. So, as long as this defiler gets out, he could be in a good spot here.
Well, if you're a Mihu fan, I think you're rooting for dropships right now, because those mutas, a lot of them died. They're all out of position now also. And Mihu sees that there's no overlord at bottom middle to intercept drops. So if there's a drop that comes while also feigning pressure at the natural, that could be a game-winning move for him. However, he is not going to continue to push the natural anymore. He's now going to go up to top left.
Yeah, it looks like this is actually pretty big. That was a good 4 overlords that fell there for cRoSs. So it's gonna, you know, give him some supply block issues here. Oh, Muta's kind of baiting the force away. But I think cRoSs's done what he needed to do to get that defiler out. Likely has consumed now. I like the fact that he went Spore at the natural. It kind of shows his intentions. He's going Plague, likely, and going to start trying to plague that vessel count to kind of reduce it.
That.
Yeah.
I did see more and more vessels being pumped out from Mihu, so no drops just yet. Actually picking off that one SCV at the third base is kind of a big deal, because it does delay his third base. And also I've noticed Mihu in this season of BSL, for whatever reason, loves double expanding. So anytime you can delay one of those SCVs from, you know, building another base, that's going to be great.
4 defilers now in the main and natural for cRoSs. We definitely have consume. Likely plague on the way. If he got a nice plague off on these 5 vessels, that'd be huge for him, actually. Ooh, dropships.
Yep, I think that's a good move, but the hole that was at bottom left has been plugged, because I see there's overlords now. There's oh, actually the mutas are not there, so there's must be Scourge over there. The vessels triple irradiate. He does not want those mutas alive at all.
Yeah, probably a good call, especially with Plague on the way. Like, even one muta can tear down Plague vessels.
Loading them up. There's 4 Scourge, but they're actually not spread very well. I could see these getting in, but this could also be... Well, actually the dropships are going top left. He's going to try and drop the main. I didn't notice any fire bats being loaded up, so this could actually be a failed drop, because Defiler plus Ling is already in position.
I mean, he scanned the Defiler, he saw it. He could just run in, irradiate it here, wait a second, and then... Yeah, and that looks like that is what he's going to do. Oh! Okay, at least he plagues 1 vessel, but now he's going to need to react, bringing more Defilers and more Lings into this top left main base. Here come the Marines, though. Oh no, tearing down all of the Scourge. But
the Defiler.
Jeez. Yeah, I can't believe he got the Defiler as well.
Well, okay, there's the fire bats that I was talking about. If there were fire bats in that drop, I think this top left base just gets breached. Oh, did he draw the units out of position? Actually, he drew the Defilers out of position, which is all that matters. Darkform goes down. Where are the drops? I know they're still alive. We've got Mihu double expanding. He's actually got top right.
Plague?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's
nice.
Tons of damage.
Yeah, that is huge. That could be a big turning point, honestly, for cRoSs here. Yeah. Oh, he's going to plague the other dropships too, and the vessel. This entire force of Mihu has been plagued.
Yeah, and I think there was 1 Mutalist left over. Maybe not, but...
There's a Scourge. This is where, like, 5 Hydralisks would be, like, huge right now.
Yeah. Also, getting the vessels is very impactful, because now, if Mihu, you know, is macroing, and then after he casts a Radiate or something, it runs into that single Spore at top left, that Spore could rack up huge value. Look at that, he almost even loses a vessel there, as one of them tried to move in on low health.
Yeah, I mean, that Spore is just going to make him very wary, especially knowing that every single one of these vessels has been plagued at this point. Oh no, losing a couple drones here on gas. That could be big, actually.
Yeah, lost those drones.
Yeah, cRoSs starting to build up that ultra count. I mean, we see he's only down, 30 supply, which is a pretty fine spot to be in for Zerg in this matchup.
Yeah, he's in a pretty damn good spot right now. He does need to do something about top right, though. Mihu has taken that as his fourth base, actually. He's got battlecruisers coming. He's getting his armory with +1 weapon for that pretty soon, because the Mutalisks already have +1 armor.
Yep, they already have +1 armor. We are seeing the ultra count get pretty big, though. If they continues to build up this ultra count, I mean, there's eventually a tipping point where all this bio will get run over.
Yeah, actually, Mihu could be in trouble here. I mean, it's hard enough to play bio in general, but to play bio into 4 bases, you really haven't been denied at all. And you don't have, like 4 starports or something, it's only 2. This is going to get really rough. We're going to have another drop, and this time with Firebats loaded up, this could deal a lot of damage. It is only 2 dropships, though.
Yeah, each dropship only has like 1 HP. I really think a couple like Muta or Scourge would be worthwhile at this point.
Funny enough, a counterattack could end this game. If there's a Defiler, which it looks like there is, trailing that army, there is nothing here from Mihu because he's just rallied the entire game across the map. He is going to find the Defiler, but does he notice? Okay, he does now.
Oh no! Man, that would have been big. Yeah. Might get a Plague off, though.
Oh, there's only 1 lurker.
Yeah, natural top left looks like it's going to be breached here. There are a couple Ultras running in. Oh no, we're just not quite in time here. There we go. Another Defiler and Ultra join up, and might be able to hold here. Oh, he's got to get back to the Swarm, though.
Yeah, but can he hold? Because based on the last game, when he just ran by the lurkers after the sunken side of the natural, I feel like if Mihu realizes there's no sunkens here, can get even just a couple Firebats up to this location, he may just try and end it. He just killed all the Defilers, all the Lings. Luckily for cRoSs, there are 0 Firebats, so he's not going to be willing to push into Dark Swarm.
He needs to run everything through that Nidus right now, or he might lose this base.
Okay, never mind. He is going to run through Dark Swarm because that's just what Mihu does.
Wow, no way. cRoSs might hold here.
He is going to hold, and Mihu, whoa, triple factory plus armory, so I don't think this is a mech switch. I think this is just going to be mass tanks as a follow-up. So this is an interesting follow-up for Mihu. It's expensive. Also going battle cruisers off of 7 racks.
I think it's actually mines. I think it's going to be Vulture mine transfer. I mean, he's recognized, like, we're not seeing any Hydras out of cRoSs, which is a little unusual in modern ZVT, I'd say. So I think he's actually going to guess that cRoSs is going to continue with this and go mine Vulture. It traits so efficiently against Ultraling.
Well, we'll see if it's mines. I'm not a believer in that just yet, but I have been fooled a few times before. We've got another follow-up attack. Firebat's leading the charge, the Marines behind it. The Marines do have, did +3 just kick in versus the Ultras who are only at +4, but it doesn't matter when there's this many Lings and Ultras.
Those
Did
Ultras
cRoSs do it?
well.
cRoSs may have actually done it because he's stabilized all 4 bases.
Top right's going to start kicking in, though, and that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's done it quite yet, but he's looking like he's in a good spot for sure.
I think he's actually done it. I think he has eliminated enough vessels, eliminated enough of the bio, and there's not enough high-tech units anymore for Terran that the 3rd base is going to fall, which is going to put Mihu on 1 base mining.
Insane. He does still have quite a few vessels. This
game's done, machine. This game, wrap it up, put a bow on it, because this game's over. There's no units for Mihu anymore. Every Terran knows once this happens, where you lose control of the center of the map and Zerg's on 4 base, soon to be 5-6 base, the floodgates are open. It's going to take a miracle for Mihu to stabilize this.
Yeah, I mean, we're really there. Zerg can just continually rally at this point, and that's what we're seeing, right? We're just seeing constant yellow flooding across the map. I'd like to see a nice plague on all these vessels, though. Like, I think that would seal the deal for sure.
Oh, like that one?
Yeah, thank you, cRoSs.
Where's the Mutalist, though? We need that one Muta that was left over with the armor to just run in there. Suicide for the greater good to get those 4 vessels.
Yeah, we really do. One vessel or a Hydra, right? Some Hydra speed would be great at this point. Now, here we go. He is at least targeting down this mid-left hatchery, so one of those bases might fall. Oh, I don't know. I forgot how good ultras were, though. So the base, at least the hatchery fell. Dang, nice snipe on those 2 siege tanks. Looks like you were right. It is going to be siege tanks, top right.
Yeah, Tank Marine Medic is super strong, and actually, Mihu somehow survived. He's not out of it just yet. He's got his 3rd base coming up. He's got a 5th base coming up. I'm surprised that the game doesn't just end there from cRoSs, and now cRoSs is going to be facing off versus 5-base Terran pretty soon. The vessel count never got whittled down at all, so that means we could have an eraser come in. There's still we still got to worry about it. Look, cRoSs falling apart. He's about to lose all of his drones here. There's BC's bottom left. There's a massive army outside of his base at top left.
Oh, nice plague though once again. At least there are going to be Scourge here to clean this up, so he's hanging on to top left, but yeah, it felt like there was a little bit of a swing in momentum. I want to call out, we are seeing Hydralisk now, and I think Hydralisk changed the tide of this. I think that is a great move here. Oh, we do need a Defiler, though, with the Dark Swarm.
I can't believe this. He doesn't have an energy! There it is. Okay, it comes down just in the nick of time. I don't think cRoSs has the gas to go Hydra Lurker, Defiler, mix in ultras here and there. He's been mining his 3rd gas for so long that that's probably going to be mined out pretty soon. His main natural is obviously mined out, but
he needs to transfer those drones.
Wow, this is so close. cRoSs barely surviving to stabilize his bases. He's got top middle. He's got mid left coming up. We've got a Doom drop in the bottom left. There are no Sunkens here.
Nice spore damage, though. Take out the first dropship before it even has a chance to unload.
Yeah, BCs to help support these Marines, though. They're going to hit really hard.
Ooh, nice surround, though. And at counter, actually, to the mineral only of Mihu at the exact same time. Big play here from cRoSs.
Yeah, a really good counterattack right there. And again, the 3rd base might die. The BC is out of range on full position, so he is going to die. And Mihu, look at this money, man. He's basically broke. He hasn't transferred his SCVs to top right, so they're not mining very well. And actually, the main has gotten busted. We've got Lings, Defilers on the main. He needs to continue to reinforce here, though.
He is building Hydralisk, dealing with that BC harass inside his main. Oh, but counter timing here, it looks like, from Mihu top left. And this base looks exposed.
Yeah, Mihu could kill mid left or top middle. Either one would be a great move from him. Ultra's not finding the right base to attack. It looks like that mineral only actually got saved by Mihu, so it's still up and running. He does find mid left, and he will kill this. That is a lot of tanks now. I don't think mid right or top right can be breached anymore. I think cRoSs has to focus all of his attention on the bottom right main.
Yeah, if he can maybe force a lift of all that production and force Mihu to rebuild top right, maybe he's got a shot. I don't know. I think he's just got to consolidate his force and just focus on holding mid left and top middle at this point, right? Like, just back up, right? There's no way you're going to engage in 10 tanks efficiently. It's clear that Mihu's got the attention now focused bottom right as well to hang on to that base. So just focus on, the bases he can hang on to. We are getting more and more Defilers here, though, and paired with Hydras, I think it's going to be a big problem for Mihu's force.
Yeah, cRoSs, every time we look at his attack, it's just so tiny. I'm surprised that with 140 supply, he's unable to amass an army that can actually bust through somewhere. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing play. But he loses 2 Ultras and a Defiler for that. Okay,
Ooh.
that's what he needs. He needs to catch these tanks.
Yeah, big pickup there. I mean, the constant, like, single defiler, like 1 ultra or like 6 ling timings to get these plagues have really been the most, like, valuable thing cRoSs's been doing all game.
Yeah, but that army that's in the center of the map, it's just continuously repositioning over and over and over. The Dark Swarm does get down at the last moment, but is it going to be enough?
If
One
that
ultra,
lurker's able to run there. Yeah, holy shit, that lurker was insane. Or that ultra was insane. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, this is one of the best TVZs I've seen in a while. Both players really trading blows big time. Another Dark Swarm comes down. The Defilers get into position, and one actually survives. So he's going to be able to rack up a ton of tank kills.
Yeah, he should be able to clear up all these tanks. We're seeing more Zerglings coming in as well. You know, we're just not seeing any big units, and it's kind of been a trickle here from cRoSs.
Rig's out of gas. Like, he doesn't have any gas. He can't build anything that has impact other than, you know, those ultras and defilers that were super weak and already died. Now it's pure Ling into a Terran player that just has a relentless amount of Marine Medic.
Yeah, this is starting to be Mihu's game, it feels like.
Yeah, I guess that the bow should not have been put on this game machine, because Mihu may actually end up taking this game. What felt like an unstoppable counterattack from cRoSs, all of a sudden he's the one that's just fizzling out. These tanks are still alive. There's just non-stop attacks everywhere. Top left being attacked at the same time as this attack at top middle. There's no lurkers, there's no defilers anymore.
Yeah, this base about to mine out as well for cRoSs top left, so it's do or die time. He's got a hold here. And I mean, the ultras are still 4-2 instead of 3-5. I think it's really the upgrades that are starting to come into play here for Zerg.
Well, there's still no fire bats. Every time I see a big Ling engagement, I think to myself, man, if there were some fire bats here, the entire army would just get crushed immediately. But now cRoSs is sub 100 supply. We've got a 50 supply lead for Terran. Ultras are dying left and right, like you were saying, because of the lack of upgrades.
Yeah, this is really Mihu just starting to turn the screws at this point. Seeing a few vessels come in, irradiating the only defiler. Nice plague though, once again, from cRoSs. And here we go. Mihu's going in for another timing.
Yeah, this could be the last stand. I feel like the just non-stop orange across the map and the lack of gas is what's done cRoSs in. He put up such an amazing fight here, like actually an amazing game from cRoSs. But in the end, it doesn't seem like it even matters. The plagues are ridiculous also. Like, he's hitting 10 units every single time. I'm pretty sure I watched an Ultra just kill 10 Marines by himself. GG comes out, and cRoSs, even though he loses that game, that was impressive play. That's what I want to see in a game versus Mihu. I want to see you bring it to him and say, hey, I can test your macro. And he almost did. He almost brought it to 1-1 in the series.
He really did, man. He almost had it. He had Mihu on the ropes there, and you know, it wasn't a gimmicky early game like we thought cRoSs might need to take a game off of him. Man, he got to late game. He got his defilers on time. Like, he did a great job just defending everything Mihu threw at him. Drops, early vessel timings, tank push. Like, he's playing out of his mind right now. And he could maybe take a game here. Yeah.
Mihu is crazy, dude. Like, I played him, a couple seasons ago in BSL, and it was TVT. And I can tell you, obviously everybody has this experience. When they play somebody better than them, you can feel it, right? But I can tell you what I noticed when I played Mihu is he attacked some base, I think it was top middle on Vermeer, and I go to defend it. And by the time I feel like, okay, I've defended it, or at least I've held it off, I look back and top right's being attacked. And he's already moved into position. I'm like, oh my god. And that's exactly what happens here, is you feel like you've held something? No. he's on another position of the map, whether it was the drop at bottom left or the attack at top middle. We know he was attacking top left the whole game. He's literally constantly moving at you all the time. There's never any relent from him. It is so hard to deal with somebody that's attacking you nonstop at 2 or 3 angles.
Yeah, it's so difficult, right? Cross had, great setups at both natural and third to defend timings, but just over time, man, Mihu just found a way to wear him down. Cross would send a few too many units through the Nidus to the natural, and so the third would, be exposed, or vice versa. Or, despite having such a great setup with those early spores, Defiler, Plague, Mihu just finds an opening.
Yeah. He's just crazy. So this could be the last game of the series. I hope it isn't, but it's Apocalypse. I think this is a good Zerg map. Let's see if cRoSs can bring it back to 2-1 or if Mihu's moving on. So in the bottom left, our Terran, it's Mihu. Oh.
Yeah, in the bottom left here is the purple Terran, Mihu. And in the bottom right, as the brown Zerg, we have cRoSs.
All right, Machine, you're the Zerg here. If you have a game like that versus Mihu, yes, you lost, but it was super close. Are you feeling like I can actually win a macro game here, or is it heartbreaking knowing that you played out of your mind and it still wasn't enough?
I think cRoSs's good enough to know he's, he wants to put on some entertaining games as well, and the fact that he just had a 30-minute long ZVT against Mihu, multiple-time previous BSL champion, I think that's a ego booster, man. I think he might just do exactly what we saw the previous game and really try to take it to Mihu in that way.
I actually agree with that. Coming into the series, I felt like you've got to win versus Mihu early game, but if he's just going to sit in his base, what can you do to that? And based on how well cRoSs actually played a macro game, I think you just got to go with it. I've noticed in the past 2 games, Mihu scanning the mains as opposed to the natural. This is a map where you can actually hide a lot of bases. So, actually cRoSs could get sneaky here. He could also sneak top right, for example. He could sneak bottom middle and, have some type of sneaky all-in like Lurker on 3 hatch play. We'll see, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We see that drone scout going out once again here for cRoSs, trying to intercept the SCV. He's done this every game. It's it's pretty cool, right? Like, he's doing some serious damage. He's actually has been hindering the observing, the scouting for Mihu. Oh, wow!
I don't want to hear that, Machine. It's bad enough to try and figure out what Zerg's doing. Now you're telling me I can't even scout at 2 minutes into the game? I don't want to hear any of this about, oh, it's cool to watch a drone kill an SCV in the middle of the map.
Oh, man. Too true, man.
It's bad.
He might kill it. He might kill it.
It's 100.
Oh! Yeah, see ya. Dude, cRoSs, man. He's got to be feeling good after that.
So
all right.
Another SCV goes out, and I feel like he's just going to have the same fate, right? Like, you couldn't beat the drone at the beginning. How are you going to beat him now? Because he has less health? I don't think it matters.
It does force it to retreat. Drone getting down to 6 HP, but still delaying that scout, right? Lair's already underway, and Terran has no idea if it's Lair, if it's Lings, whatever it is. We're seeing cRoSs even skip Zerglings. That's how confident he is.
Yeah.
There are no Zerglings being made right now.
Yep. And
wow.
We actually have Mihu going for eBay again. I think this is, fine move. You don't have the 2 racks. But because of how much damage you saw this one drone do, this is, like I was saying, if this was Shine, who will mix in crazy stuff, this would be an amazing thing to do. But cRoSs, he just follows up the identical opener. I think it was pool gas at like 215 or something, and we've got Most likely, Muta's going to be coming again.
Yeah, it's got to be Muta, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be, especially denying the scout. You know, this might be one of those rare exceptions where a lurker first opener could have been good, but I mean, he's showcased some pretty stellar Muta controls so far, so why change?
Well, I was talking about how there's so many bases on this map machine, and that drone is heading to top right, and I think this is a cool move because, as I was stating, Mihu has consistently scanned the main, cRoSs has consistently taken the natural, so now Mihu might scan the natural top left, probably see nothing, right? And then think, oh, well, you took the main this time. But that's not going to be the case. And if cRoSs goes for some mega all-in with hidden tech, whatever it is, that could be amazing for him.
Yeah, it really could be a difference maker, right? So far, he has been playing kind of later macro games, but if Terran tries to move out and doesn't recognize Zerg is just like going pure all, mid-game all-in Muta, it could be a bad spot for Mihu to be in.
Yeah, and in ASL, actually, players like Jaedong, Queen, I think even Soma also, they did Mutaling all-in on 3 bases in their games on Apocalypse. So it is definitely a common build on this particular map. We do have the 4 racks this time. This is what I was expecting coming into the series. We've got a scan in the main, sees the natural, doesn't scan, or it sees the spire, doesn't scan the natural. So he doesn't know how many drones this is. He doesn't know if this is all in. He doesn't know if there's a third hatch up there.
Yeah, you're right. Very limited info, but at the same time, still looking pretty standard, right? Like, you expect to see a spire if you scan the main at that point. So we'll see how cRoSs chooses to kind of transition here. R6 Muta moving across the map towards Terran base. Oh, if he got that SCV, that would have been big.
Yeah, but this is Mihu, man. He's got like flash levels of luck on his side. The SCV completes at the right time, and that Marine gets taken down, but the Mutas don't actually get in and deal much damage.
Three Marines is no small feat, though. He did pick off 3 Marines immediately. This Marine count is kind of low at the moment.
Okay, no, that's not the flash level of repairing, actually, and that opens up the natural. And I don't like this wall on this map because of how funneled those Marines are when trying to move into the minerals. So cRoSs could exploit this position, but based on last game, it seems like we're having the similar build where he's only going to build like 7 to 9 Mutalisks, not going to go overwhelming amounts of Mutalisks, and now we have cRoSs into the main. There's only 1 turret. He's got the magic number of Mutas, which is 7, to one-shot the SCVs.
But he's being safe about this, which I kind of like, right? He's forcing out some scans. He's not over-engaging with the Muta. He's now got 11 Mutas to fight with, which is, it's going to be pretty scary here.
This could actually be a mistake for Mihu, because you were talking about how he already lost 3 Marines. In this game, it looks like Mihu actually wants to get onto the map, but the Marine count is not that high. The Muta count is pretty decent, and it's a lot of Mutalisks too. There's more behind the mineral line.
Missed all of the scans on the bases.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I told you. Look, he even scanned the natural. You knew he was going to scan there, which is why this is even more genius.
Queen's Nest, Hydrogen going down at the 3rd base. Another free medic falling. cRoSs looking phenomenal right now.
Yeah, actually, if this is the Hydra Guardian game, Mihu could be in trouble because his factory is way late this time. But look at how hard it is for Marines to deal with Mutalisks over this ledge. Like, he can't even leave his base without taking losses. Another Marine falls. He's also stemmed so many times. Look at that! Shreds 3 Marines instantly. He has less Marines than Zerg has Mutalisks right now.
Yeah, still no armor yet on the Terran bio. I think once armor kicks in, right, like, he should be able to hold these small engagements a lot better, but cRoSs's doing a great job taking advantage. Actually diving into the main here, getting on top of a couple turrets, a couple SCVs already have fallen. Oh, but that was good repair timing, though.
Yeah, that was a really good repair. That clutched the game right there. But the Marines are overstemmed again. The Mutalisks know they're overstemmed, jumps in, pops a lot of the Marines, but he does trade a lot of Mutalisk for it. However, when there's only 2 Marines to defend, he doesn't matter. He's not afraid of that. He's just going to continue to commit with these 5 Mutalisks.
He's got to back up now, though. One of those Mutas is in the red. But seriously, though, that was some really good damage from cRoSs here. And I mean, that main's still overexposed. Once he regroups with this other group of Muta, he can go straight back in, I feel like.
Zerg should all win this. Zerg should go for the killing blow here. The reason I say that is you know starport timing, which means you know the factory timing. Terran has no idea where your bases are. He's got to guess on what your follow-up is, and you've killed so many Marines. Just try and end the game with a lurker contain or lurker buff or lurker contain into Defiler. Mutalisk into the main again. However, this does leave cRoSs exposed to a counterattack.
Yeah, there's no lurker, there's no sunken yet. He has to know that Mihu's out on the map. He's gonna need to retreat with these mutas. But it's so tempting, right? Because to just stay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He doesn't realize. In these Marines, they do have +1 weapon. They don't have armor. But the Mutalisks are way, way out of position. Mihu, is he going to pull out a miracle again? He's going to snipe the hatchery, that's for sure. And he needed this, actually, because he was on the back foot completely. Mihu may lose his whole army for this, but I think this is mega worth.
I think cRoSs might lose his whole army to this.
I'm not sure about that. I think the Mutalisks are still quite strong. Okay, but there's more stem Marines in the back. There are a lot of medics here, actually, but there's only 4 Marines. If this was 10 Marines, I think it would have plowed through, but only 5 means that cRoSs does hold. But losing the natural is massive. It relieves a lot of pressure and allows now, finally, for Terran to get some map presence and also get his vessels started building.
Yeah, same time, cRoSs, I mean, losing a natural is a pretty big deal here. That's really going to stifle his eco. You know, no natural gas mining at the moment. At least the third looks very well saturated for cRoSs at the moment. Defiler mound underway, and I mean, he's kept up in supply, so you know, there's maybe a shot here still.
Yeah, also cRoSs losing that hatch means he's lost access to all that larva, so now he can't even really produce that much at all. What I thought was going to be a bad positioning of the starports because of what you're seeing right there ends up not being the biggest of deals because I don't think
no way!
Mihai!
No.
Or not Mihai, Mihu! He loses all of his Marines, and if he combos with Lurkers plus Mutalisks, this could be game-ending.
Kind of look like Mihai play.
No way. You've seen Mihai Marine Micro? Absolutely crazy.
Oh, man. Insane turn of events here in this game, man. This is exactly what cRoSs needed to be a serious threat after losing that natural. Bunker might get up, though.
Well, actually getting rid of this depot helps Mihu because that gives him time to actually set up a decent arc. But I can tell you, he's got to get out in just a second. He cannot let 6 lurkers set up plus Defiler come out.
Yeah, if the Defiler moves across the map and he's able to get a couple Dark Swarms down, I think this game is over.
Yeah, but there's no Defiler just yet. Like, I saw that the Defiler mount started at like 1050. Okay, there we go, the Defiler's moving out right now. Doesn't have energy, needs some lings, but this could be it. He may actually be able to bust through. He only has 2 vessels. He has no siege. He has no mines, no tanks, and he used his irradiates on Mutalisk, man. He needed to not do that.
Yeah, he definitely needed to not do that. Here we go. He's even got consuming the mutas. Doesn't even care. It's time to go.
Well, I can tell you when Mihu sees this, he's going to be thinking to himself, why did I just use my irradiates? Why? Now there is no counterplay. And we may finally be able to put a point on the board for cRoSs here. Absolutely ridiculous game 2. Now a great game in game 3. The Mutalisks did ridiculous damage. Obviously the heroes of the game are those lurkers though. And we may be moments away from finally seeing Mihu fall.
Yeah, man. If we were kind of saying it, if we knew he had a weakness, it might be this matchup. And, man, cRoSs though. he played out of his mind to make this game happen. That drone scouting and like harass where he's killing off 2 SCVs to start, preventing any scouting. I mean, after taking a win like this in another standard game, he's got so many more options now because of that.
Yeah. Well,
Gotta
I'm
kill
pretty confident. I'm pretty confident this game's over, Machine.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident too.
I'm pretty confident that at this point, 1 tank and 8 Marines can't win the game.
Oh man, Mihu just like nukes the entire army and then runs across the map and erases everything with vessels. You're just like, oh okay. Cast your curse. Vessel's starting to fall here. It's exactly what he needs to guarantee this one. We're not seeing any more defilers, I'll say that, and there are 2 tanks.
Well, I can tell you I'm not seeing any more barracks, so I don't know about you, Machine, but I can tell you when I don't have any barracks, I think I can win. So.
Oh man, yeah, this is brutal. cRoSs just playing smart, right? Like he's not gonna take any risks here. He knows he's got this. No sense in unburrowing everything. Like just kill the free buildings.
Well, the funny thing is if Mihu gets his main up and Terran or Zerg loses all these lurkers to just 3 tanks, cRoSs's floating a lot of resources. Like, it's not like he has a lot of gas, he's just got lings. Mihu's going to rebuild his barracks now. There's still a decent amount of Marines out on the map. I don't know what the heck is happening where we're not just outright dead, but Mihu's gonna try and actually recover from this position.
You telling me Terran doesn't need buildings to win?
I guess not. I'm watching it unfold right now. Oh, drone, get in there. Build that hatch, man. Tell him this is my game.
Yeah, just takes his natural with the drone. Man, he needs to plague or at least not rally the solo defilers.
Dude, no! Mihu's up supply with no production. cRoSs has no gas. Like,
there's just
lings.
hatcheries. Yeah.
He's got 4 tanks.
Pure lings. He did just get his 4th gas up though, so it's gonna catch up here very quickly. But yeah, this is bizarre, man. Like the vessels are just somehow getting insane value.
Yeah, like
plague, please. Yes.
I'm watching 5 Marines, 5 medics, 5 tanks, 5 vessels. Somehow
kill like infinite units.
Yeah, kill a billion units. I'm speechless at this point. I just keep looking at cRoSs's supply, expecting the game to just be over, but it's not because he doesn't have any units. But I do notice that cRoSs does have +2 armor on his Ultras, so at least that's good that if this game doesn't end in the next minute or so, at least he'll have those heavy upgrades to fall back on.
I'd really like to see more like Hydras mixed in with this, because time and time again, the thing that just continually is getting value for Mihu has been these vessels. He's got to have a way of eliminating them. There's a Muta, like right there.
Get in there. Get in there.
At least, I mean, kill 1 vessel, right?
Snipe it. Snipe.
No, he doesn't get it. Oh, man.
Oh, he wanted to plague. Okay. Oh. Okay, we're just running back into our tanks and siege like this. Now we're just going to trade 2 Ultras for free.
I mean, he might get a tank here, but yeah, not the best trade. At least those hatcheries are starting to kick in here, right? Eventually, he's going to be able to build enough lings that he could kind of just overwhelming force this, feels like.
Well, I feel like I'm seeing a repeat of last game where I felt like he was going to overrun, and then, yes, he overran the mineral only, but didn't overrun any of the other bases. Mihu actually has a decent army. Like, he has Marine Medic that are upgraded. The Ultralists do not have +5, so it's +2 versus +4. The Ultralists do get melted before Darkstorm comes down.
Man, 1 plague would have been nice there, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Mihu just finds a way to hang on, it feels like. The vessels starting to build up in supply here. As we can see, there's so many barracks now at play here for Mihu. I mean, at least the main's mining out. That should be a a pretty big issue for Mihu to deal with.
Well, he's going to lose that Defiler before it gets Darkstorm again. I guess I will say I don't think Mihu could afford +3 weapon. So once +5 kicks in for Zerg, that should be the killing move. But looking at the natural, not have that many drones. Looking at that top right base, not have that many drones. Looking at top middle main, not actually be done. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, is this really happening? Am I watching Mihu recover from this position? Because think about it, he didn't lose any vessels. He's lost 1 tank. He's now out on the map now.
Yeah, this is kind of bonkers that this is even happening, right? I mean, literally, cRoSs was inside his main with like 20 lurkers killing all his buildings. So
the vessels moved out of the position at the worst time. He doesn't know that there's a Nidus bottom right. There's the Defiler, gets irradiated.
Still, good counter. He's at least pulling Mihu back. He's killing off units. If he does this right, he might kill some SCVs. If he could run an Ultra into that mineral line or something. But
this Nidus is so annoying to deal with. He still doesn't know that base is there. More units coming in. The Haymaker, Ultra is running in with the Irradiate. But they don't get much damage done. Those vessels are still alive. I don't know how much more irradiates he has. This mineral, or not mineral base, this third base may actually get taken down. 2 vessels fall. That is huge for Zerg to catch those.
Yeah, every vessel really kind of counts here. Oh, not quite enough to get a second swarm there. Still has a Defiler though. Should look to Plague again. At this point, just Plaguing over and over would be big damage to him. And Mihu's not mining from his third.
Well, he's not mining right now. I'm sure he's going to take it in just a second. I just... Man. Is he did he already load up drops? There's no way, right?
Oh, I guess he's just doing it now, it looks like.
He still doesn't know about that Nidus, so he's just holding the high ground with no movement from those Marines to actually knock down the base.
Yeah, and that Nidus is exposed, right? Like, he could clear it with just a small force of Marines. But man, I think cRoSs's done it.
Well, I would think so also, but I also thought that he had done it when Terran had no production. But clearly, that is not enough. Like, Mihu is literally not out of the game until he is actually hit Alt-Q. You've got a Doom drop to top middle. That's going to be a dead base.
That is going to be a dead base. It's
remember, the natural doesn't have a lot of drones. The top right base does not have a lot of drones. Losing this base does hurt. There's no Defiler here, so this is gonna get held.
Yeah, Zerg does have the 5 armor, just now kicking in with +2 melee as well, though. So these units are gonna start fighting a little better, and we have 2 Defilers running in here to this natural.
Oh, that was the clutch Darkstorm right there, right on top of the production. And the Marines, well, I guess they didn't die. Okay, that did die. Now that's 4 Ultralists. And that could finally be what breaks the camel's back. We've got SCVs being transferred down to bottom right to try and start mining. Mihu is literally down to 14 minerals. But as the observer's pointing out, there's not a lot of econ for Zerg either. However, 5 Ultralists, can they be enough to knock down these 10 Marines and 10 medics? Look at this wall in!
The wall with the medics, oh my gosh,
serious?
Impressive play here from Mihu. But GG is called, looks like that was what he needed. Man, cRoSs taking game number 3. Impressive. Huh.
Yeah, that was an impressive win from cRoSs, but that game should have ended 10 minutes ago. I can't believe how good Mihu is at just not dying. Like, he just doesn't die. He refuses to die. I thought he was dead on Polypoid. I thought he was dead 10 minutes ago. This man, even though he lost, he is never out. Legitimately never out of it.
Could lose every single barracks to his name and still be in the game. That was incredible, man. Very, very well done from him to even, still have a shot after that. But also, just well done for cRoSs, right? He's got that win on the board. I gotta say, he's been looking better and better as we have been going through this series, right? He's just reading out Mihu a little more and a little more, and he picks up a big win there on Apocalypse.
Not only was Mihu not just surviving, like it's different where you're just sitting there, letting Siege, do all the work. Not only was he defending with his Marine medic, but you remember he actually moved out. Like he attempted to move out, he got instantly countered, so he had to turn around, and then he actually had to drop. So he was actually out on the map too. It wasn't like he was just wasting 15 minutes. He was actually putting on counterplay. This is just ridiculous how good Mihu is. We're gonna get into game 4 now, and I think next map, what was it? Dark Origin.
I think it was Polypoid, but I could be wrong.
Wait. Fourth map is Retro.
Or Retro, that's what I meant. Shoot, Retro. So, yeah. So, Retro, pretty good map for the matchup, right? Like, nothing too out of the ordinary about it. I think another big 4-player map where we're likely to see cRoSs take a natural as his third base. That seems to be kind of his preference in most of the games here so far.
Yeah, well, if Apocalypse is a good map for Zerg, I think I'm pretty fair in saying a lot of Zergs would agree to that statement that it's good for ZVT.
I do, for sure.
I think also a lot of Zerg players would agree Retro is really good for Terran. The fact that you can 8 racks and wall on basically every position makes it absolutely the dream for Terran, and we may finally see Mihu actually try and get aggressive here with something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it personally, just for him to kind of switch up the style a little bit, maybe keep cRoSs guessing. The one thing we haven't really seen from him so far has been any kind of early pressure, right? So maybe just to alter the game state a little bit, he could go for something like that.
Yeah, we'll see if either player wants to mix it up. I think based on how well cRoSs is doing with his drone micro and his 2-hatch into big time macro, I think actually cRoSs just needs to stick with this. Like, just play what you're doing, or play what you've been doing. Try and get some more killer damage with his Mutalisk. And he's actually going toe-to-toe with Mihu in the macro game, which is surprising to say. But this is Retro, where it's, fewer bases on the map. It's harder to hide bases. I think it's going to be a little bit harder than what he tried to pull out on Apocalypse.
Harder to hide bases, but easier to hold some bases, right? Like, that connected third is almost a given for Terran and Zerg. So, and as we've been saying, like, once cRoSs gets into that 4, base range, he really starts to take off, as you'd expect from, Zerg in this matchup. But, if you're able to kind of go toe-to-toe with Mihu in a, 4+ base game, you're doing something right, for sure.
Heck yeah, you're doing something right, because this guy looks like... If you were to turn off the nameplates, I would 100% tell you that the Terran had to be a pro because of how well he's defending, how he's microing and macroing like an absolute madman, and also how he's moving across the map all the time, literally all the time. And finally, seems like we're ready for game 4. This could be the last game of the series. cRoSs has at least brought it back to 2-1. Can he strike again in game 4? Or again, will Mihu be moving on into the winner bracket finals? So in the bottom left, our blue Zerg, it's cRoSs.
And in the bottom right, spawning as the red Terran, we have Mihu.
Well, he did not get top right or bottom left for the complete wall. I think you still technically can do the complete wall at bottom right, but it's not as ideal for sure.
You
as
can't do like
left.
the depot racks depot.
I think you can do that. I think you can do that, but you 100% prefer the other variations, whether you're bottom left or top right. We do have SCV coming down, so this is going to be, well, it's going to be a depot. I think it's going to be the ample wall, the semi-wall.
Oh, okay. Like we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, like on Polyvoid, what he did.
Yeah. I mean, it's still fine, right? Like, can you emergency wallet, like, if there was something like a 4-pool?
No, I don't think so. Once you've set it up this way, it's impossible to deviate from. We do actually have cRoSs getting lucky here. He's going to find Overlord, or find Terran in the first position, and also, because of how far the depot and racks is out onto the map, you'll already see that a wall has been started.
I feel like you need all the luck you can get against Mihu.
For sure. There's that 12 hatch again.
Do you think he's going to run out and meet the SCV with a drone this game too?
Well, I can tell you this. If I was Mihu, why should I even bother scouting? I'm not getting in. I might as well just wait and see where the Overlord comes in. Okay, I know that the Overlord's there. So I would just send this SCV back and just come back later, because you know it's going to get intercepted.
This is crazy, right? And wow, we're getting to see first person some of this drone control. I have not really seen this very often, so this is kind of crazy to see. I mean, against Mihu of all players, right?
Yeah, I think if he just leaves the SCV... Oh, well, he got away, but did he? I mean, he got away for now, but he ain't going to be away for that long. I think
just
actually...
send another drone.
Yeah, he could just send another drone. I think actually, if Mihu just stayed on the ramp, I mean, you're forcing the drone to not mine. Yes, Terran's not mining, but Terran's, never mining with this SCV, so it's not impacting Terran's build at all. Whereas not mining with this drone for this long, actually does impact your build. So, actually, the SCV gets in. I'm surprised that it's not dead yet.
Yeah, given the last two games, cRoSs was very good about staying on top of that. But, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe he feels like the scouting's already been done, right? He did get to see the time which Zerg put drones on that Vespene Geyser. He knows it's not some kind of crazy early gas for something bizarre. It's just going to be standard.
Well, it's the 2 racks from Mihu this time. He is not going to go the eBay opener. He's going to go for that pressure play. Might be because of the spawns, maybe?
Close spawn like this?
Yeah, maybe he likes that. Also, it seems like Okay, I have to make a prediction, I guess. I feel like the chances of cRoSs hiding a third base like he did last game is low. I think it's going to be at the natural again. And, going for this Marine Medic move out, he could be looking to snipe that third base.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, the thing, though, is, like, with this 2.5 hatch, sometimes you're able to catch Terran out on the map with, a small group of your first Muta and Ling, right? So, if maybe Mihu gets a little overzealous with this Academy timing, he could be punished for it.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if he actually wants to move out, because Circuit Breaker game, he faked a move out and just turned around. This time, cRoSs is not actually building his third base on location. He instead built his third hatch in his main, and that means we're just going to have delayed third base from him, and that's fine. It's just something to mention here. We actually have an insanely fast comsat from Mihu. He really wants to know exactly what the timing is.
Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job of staying on top of like his scans, his comm stats here so far. I guess if he's following the same pattern, he'll probably scan the main first. Makes sense, right? Look for the tech, just kind of confirm drone count and see if you can see any Muta. Yep, there we go. Spire timing. It's wall off paying off. It's actually moving across the map this time, but fortunately, a couple Sunkens already ready here for cRoSs. Oh, losing a few Zerglings.
Yep, and this 6 Marine, 2 Medic move out, not going to kill cRoSs, but it does get the damage done, forcing out 2 Sunkens, losing those 2 drones. That really does hurt Zerg's build, and again, we have another 530 factory, so this is literally the same build as he used on Circuit Breaker.
No range yet, I think.
Yep.
Gypsy's pointing out.
Yep, you skip range to rush your tech extremely quickly, so that means that the Marines are vulnerable to straight up Muta fights. But if he just stays in his base, Zerg doesn't know that, so Zerg's unlikely to engage into Marines plus turrets.
Yeah, he has been, I mean, playing the same way each and every other game as well. Turret timing going to be a little tight. There might be a small window for some damage here. Looks like cRoSs going to end up taking that third base at another natural. Is that hatchery misplaced?
I don't think so. I think it's fine.
Okay.
We've got 8 Mutalisks. Oh, actually, it is off. It is 1 off machine. You're right. Look at how far those minerals are.
Yeah. Well, we are seeing the Muta count start to build here.
We've got the starport started at 640. That is crazy fast. We've got the Mutas jumping onto the turret in the Marine. Now, I think cRoSs probably watched the replay and knows that, hey, this build where you're just sitting in your main, you've skipped range. So he jumps in there, takes advantage of that, kills 2 Marines for free.
Yeah, I mean, that'll start to add up. Like we saw in the Apocalypse game, he was able to grab a few Marine kills early, and that just kind of kept the pressure on Mihu from the start.
Ooh,
second starport down? Nice.
Yeah, double starport, not a push. I wonder what he scanned that told him, hey, we can't push this time. And I am shocked that, again, he scanned top left main. Okay, he does scan the natural also. Because just based on what we've seen from cRoSs, always going for the low ground, I would have scanned the natural first to see if it's there, but he finds it regardless.
Yeah, you know, so now he knows exactly what he's up against here. Muta trying to kind of feint in, but really being a little more passive with the early Muta this go around than he has prior, which I think is fine, right?
Yeah, and another big drone transfer towards top left. So he's again going to have big econ, but not as good as it could have been with that off-center third base. But this is a 5 racks follow-up, so going to be a lot of production from Mihu, a lot of vessels coming really quickly.
2 medics being popped instantly. That's really nice pickup there from cRoSs. Took very minimal damage for that as well.
Yeah, getting the medics is always nice. You never want to be spending your gas on medics as Terran. Not only does it obviously cut into your gas, but also those medics, you know, they're not going to have as much energy as the ones that are already built. So it is a big deal, especially, you know, having to deal with players that stem all their units so often. And he now has lost another Marine, still only 2 medics to help heal this army.
We had a mega fast Defiler Mountain this game from cRoSs. That was like an 830 Defiler Mountain. I think he delayed Lurker to get kind of Hive a bit faster, you know, delayed upgrades as well. Oh, diving on a vessel here. Scourge able to get the connect, so first vessel even falling, and that is huge when you're going to have such a fast Defiler, right?
Yeah, definitely. That was a good pick-off from cRoSs. I'm not sure how many Mutalisks he lost for that. It didn't seem like he lost that many. It seemed like he just took a lot of damage. And that's fine, because those Mutas will regen, and they're dead weight right now for Zerg. Just, you know, let them sit AFK in your main to defend drops is fine. We've got another huge transfer to top left, so he's got basically full saturation. And he's got a good Lurker set up at his Nat and his third base. So these bases cannot be punished.
Does need a Nidus, though. At some point, just to try to connect the two. And this game, we're seeing Mihu pressuring the third. Once again, Spore already up. No Overlord to protect the Lurkers quite yet at that top left natural, but still. Likely we're going to see Defiler get transferred top left here. But Mihu, already on the move, has given up on attacking the third altogether. Like you said, it's the constant movement, right? Like, if you're Zerg, you don't know where to shuffle your units all the time. Eventually, you're going to get caught out. Oh, nice pickup on that vessel, though. cRoSs doing a much better job this game at just staying on top of this vessel count and keeping it reduced.
Yeah, if you're a Terran player out there, you know, you're watching pro games and you always wonder, like, why can't I bust either the Nat or the third base, or why do my dropships never get in? Well, the reason is because the pros are always moving all the time, always making Zerg be wary of where they are, and if they're ever out of position and Terran knows that, then they're able to strike. But if you're just, you know, super slow on the gun, not constantly repositioning, well, of course, Zerg can just always be defending all those spots because they don't have to worry because you're not moving all the time. That's the difference between Mihu and, you know, Flash and somebody of my level. Like, I can't make these moves that Mihu's doing. It's just crazy how he's always everywhere.
Yeah, it seriously is, man. We're seeing a vulture this game, which Gypsy pointed out. I kind of like it. I was talking about it last game. Whenever you see, you know, ultras in numbers against Terran, mines just trade so efficiently. So nice reaction here from Mihu.
Okay, another plague. He loses
Huge
the vessel, but yeah, the plague is nice. But you also got to consider that he doesn't have energy for Darkstorm now. We know a drop just unloaded, so this lurker most likely going to die, and that means that this base is most likely going to die.
Ooh, this is a big base to lose. There is another lurker top left, but it's not going to be able to get there in time. cRoSs will need to. Oh, I spoke too soon. He's going to save this base.
What? Wow, that survives, but there's another load up of the drops, and he may be coming in for round 2, but yeah, Mihu was expecting that base to be dead.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag, though. cRoSs needs to know that this base is under pressure. He will be given some time to Nidus units through from his third base, so we'll see how this goes. Actually moving out for another sniping plague as well. Uh-oh.
Instant scan takes care of that lurker. He's going to take care of that defiler. He does eat a plague, but he's going to lose this defiler, and he should lose the hatch this time around. cRoSs scrambling to try and save this base, but the damage has been done. There's no longer any energy available for some more Darkstorms, so this army is going to be a nuisance to deal with.
Yeah, third base, you know, or for Mihu at the same time, just unhindered. Mining dropships just continue to pressure this top left base, and if you're cRoSs, you need a fourth. It's 13 minutes into the game, you know, like it's the only way he's going to be able to keep up with this production of Mihu's by holding this top left.
Again, if I'm cRoSs here, I'd be thinking like, dude, how many dropships do you have? Why are these Marines just always here? He's going to lose the Nidus, and he's going to lose the hatch.
That's huge. I didn't even think the Marines could shoot him from up there. Oh, man.
I didn't think so either. That's one of those things where you've got to rethink about the cliff positioning there or something, because that's not what should happen.
Yeah, fourth base once again going down here for cRoSs. Mihu taking a fourth base of his own top right. We have mines out on the map now against this ultra tech switch, which is going to be huge once they start coming into play.
Yeah, Terran's almost maxed, whereas Zerg is struggling at 100 supply. Terran's also going for splitting of the map. He's taking top right. He already has mid right. Zerg has a lot of macro hatches. Problem is he just doesn't have any control of the game. He's also, remember, lost that Nidus. So what's up at top left is all that there's going to be. If there are Firebats here with D-Matrix, we could have an Artosis double D-Matrix moment and just knock down those lurkers.
Yeah, I think we're likely going to see it. We do see a finished Nidus, but no rally point being placed quite yet here for cRoSs. There's just so much going on, right? Like it's got to be very daunting for cRoSs to try to keep up with all this pressure of Mihu.
Yeah, I think at this point Mihu should just do what he did on Polypoid, which is start building more barracks at top right. This drop is still alive? Really?
Oh! Did try some splitting there. Good focus fire though from cRoSs. Seeing the vessels go in and start to get some irradiates down. Oh, what are you doing, Mihu? Yeah, it's about
like,
yeah, can't do that.
I was like, I guess he doesn't care about one lurker, but even if you have armor, lurkers still deal 18 damage, man. That's a lot of damage. That's AoE too. So smartly retreats there. And again, it's just so much control for Mihu right now. His vessel count is not as high as I was expecting it to be. So I wonder if he's actually building BCs right now.
Yeah, he might be. He did transition to a late game, and against a Zerg that's not going to go Hydra, it's always a good call. Man, these mines start to pick up some serious kills.
Yeah. Vessel count's at 5. There's no defiler anymore at top left. The radiate's just over and over and over. There's the barracks that I was expecting to see. He could even start taking a 5th base if he wants. Zerg just now really getting their 4th base. That is brutal for Zerg. Zerg just had the +4 power spike on the armor. What's Terran at? If they're at +2, they're still fine.
Oh, we do have a orange cloud going down. Nice plague on all the vessels. And we are finally starting to see some pressure out here from cRoSs. Oh, but at the same time, double drop taking out top left once again. Nothing can go right here for cRoSs.
Yeah, literally nothing is going right. And now he knows that top left has been breached, so he pounces on that natural. He snipes the Nidus, there's no more lurkers, and with the Nidus falling, with there being no lurkers, with there going to be no 3rd base in just a second, this could be the final moments of cRoSs. There it is, GG, and Mihu, he will take the series 3-1.
Yeah, strong showing from Mihu. You know, we definitely saw some closer games, but by all means, Mihu is very much in control of this series. You know, he showcased some incredible play. But yeah, still cRoSs giving him a good fight, taking a game. But with that, he's going to end up moving down into the loser bracket quarterfinals. So,
Yeah, cRoSs not eliminated yet, but coming out of the loser bracket is going to be really hard because you got amazing players down there too, like the Wall. Sziky's down there. XiaoShuai is down there. So it's not going to get any easier just because you don't have to play Mihu anymore. Well done to Mihu. He played extremely well. cRoSs too, he played extremely well. You know, as someone that does not have 400 APM, you know, I'm also a believer that you don't have to have 400 APM to play. Like, you can be pretty good at 150, at 200, but watching games like that, you can only do that if you've got the 300 APM. It was really, really well done from Mihu.
Yeah, he's just got impressive multitasking. He was everywhere constantly. You know, he hit all of his build timings, was ahead in bases in TVZ, right? Like, he does it all, man. So definitely looking forward to seeing the winners finals. You know, big Bonyth facing off against Mihu. Always a match for the ages. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yep, so I think now we're going to be going into a break. And then we come back with our loser bracket. It's going to be Sziky versus QiaoGeGe, which was a ZVP, and I'm sure that'll be great, so don't go anywhere.